All right.
So
I think I have those same mugs.
oh, these here with the
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
My daughter got them, and then I went and
Maybe.
got a bunch of them. I'm not sure when. Okay, so I made a couple of settings changes in Discord so that our live on-air show. Oh, well, shit. I didn't bring the iPad down with me, so I can't see the on-air chat while we're doing this. Well, I can if I go and switch over to here, but whatever. So, but maybe the reason we don't have anybody in the live show on Discord in our voice is because they can't join it. Oops.
Let me go live on Facebook or YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Why can't they join it?
Well, I changed the permissions to where when they join into the channel, they can't just turn their camera on and they can't just be unmuted and start talking, right? So they can join and listen, but they can't talk and they can't turn their camera on to interrupt our 3 squares, progression for us at the top, right? Because it changes the layout on our recording when they join. It's not their fault; they don't know. So I set that to where if they join, they can just join and listen, and then if they want to talk, I can unmute them and then mute them back on, right? So it's an automatic thing. So it's not I don't have to manually go and make changes in the middle of the show. That's the whole reason. It's just to automate that permissions thing. So it's possible that I might have screwed that up. But
just so you know, I think you sound sexier when you have a cold. I'm just putting that out
there. Yeah, I hear that all the time. Whenever I'm extremely tired and have talked a lot, it gets better. This happens whether I'm getting over a cold or if I've just talked for like a day. So
hey, Chad, can you put in a second stream key? Like if I give you another one for Facebook?
I don't know. I can only stream out to one at a time.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Nope. I think. Yeah. No, I'm 100% positive on that.
Okay.
I'll have to go and look and see if there's something I can do differently in the future for that, if that's a possibility. But I know right now, at this moment, no.
That's fine. Yeah, let's not mess with it.
So. See, and the permissions aren't right because there's Chaz Biz, and he's in here. He's muted, but I've just got to change that. Sorry, that was my fault. Okay, so no, he's okay. He's okay.
Okay.
So no, okay. So everything works as intended on Discord. That's wonderful. Now that we're 2.5 minutes into the show,
hey, you know what? It's a first time for everything, right?
Feels like the first time. Every time we start a show. All right.
Listen, we took a vote. We don't want you singing with any of your voices.
Right. None of the voices. Right. I can't even sing.
No, we don't want sick. We don't want sick Chad singing. We don't want healthy Chad.
All right.
Definitely don't want Indian Chad, who seems to come out every now and then.
I don't know where that comes from either. It's so great. I don't know what
great is the word I would use.
Yeah.
Cringe.
I'm with Daniel on that.
What'd you say, cringe? Is that what you said, cringe?
Cringe might be a good word. Yeah, that's one word for it.
Yeah, that's one word for it. Yeah. No racist Chad.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
Oh, we got more people. A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, people coming in. We haven't really started yet. We're just kind of screwing around. We're having fun this morning.
Yeah.
So let's play the intro and let's get this train out of the station.
Going.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Trekcast.
All right, it's the original intro from 2008. Trekcast, the galaxy's most unpredictable Star Trek podcast. We keep humming along here, and boy, what a week it was, not only for Trek, but for the three of us. Guys, how was your week? I mean, fitting in these two season finale and then a season opener of a brand new show, that was a lot to take in. That was a lot to take in on top of everything else going on. So how was it for you guys getting to it?
Go ahead, Dan.
I don't know how much I should share now, but let's just put it this way. One of them I watched. The other one I watched 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That sums it up very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, how about you?
I watched them both just once. I also watched the Will Wheaton show so that I can suffer for the people.
Yes.
And I have things to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, for fun, pulled up the Rotten Tomato scores of the last seasons of the last 3 Star Trek shows. So I've got season 4 of Discovery, season 2 of Picard, and Strange New Worlds premiere. So it'll be fun to compare and contrast.
Okay.
I've got that for you. But one of the things I'm very excited about, and I haven't even told you guys yet. So I got this.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Cisco's Creole Kitchen. Yeah. Yeah, that was given to me by a really cool website called Pop Culture Shirts.
Yep.
And right now they're running a promo. They've got all sorts of different Star Trek stuff. So if you use 22 Trekcast, or Trekcast 22, Trekcast 22, you'll get a 30% discount, and you get this shirt and a bunch of other ones.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Look at you, Mr.
Nice.
Mr. Marketing Man. Look at that.
Trying, man.
Yeah.
That's our first ad.
There it is. There's our first ad. We told you ads were coming. We just didn't tell you it would come so stylish like that. That was beautiful.
That's right.
That was beautiful. So
That's right.
Cool.
So as you can hear in my voice, I'm getting over a head cold. I started on it on Tuesday last week, and it hit me hard. So I didn't even get to watch, and I worked during the whole thing. I was working from home right here, lived in this office for the whole week. And then I didn't get to watch the season finale Picard until Friday night at like 11:30 at night.
Oh, wow.
By which I turned around and woke up at 3 a.m. yesterday to get on a bus to go to Branson, Missouri, Silver Dollar City for my daughter's orchestra. They had a competition down there, actually. And so we went to the competition. They competed. Then we went to Silver Dollar City for like 6 hours. Then we got home at like 11 o'clock at night. So I actually watched Strange New Worlds this morning, finishing it up 6 minutes before 10.
Wow.
So... so I am not only over the head cold, a little bit of congestion left, but I'm also extremely tired and have lost half of my voice, which is why I'm getting so deep. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So,
did you guys see Doctor Strange?
No.
I
no.
did.
No. I had
Okay.
I did.
Yeah. Same here.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
From what I'm hearing, because I have no idea, other than just a few little snippets here and there, maybe I'm not missing much, but we can talk about that some other time. Today, we've got nothing but a bunch of Trek to talk about.
We got a bunch of Trek.
We got a ton of Trek talk. Finally, it's not just three guys talking about anything and everything else. Trek holds it together. Today, Trek is going to be 100% the show. So let's go right into the news.
Attention all hands. It's time for Star Trek news.
Ooh. Go for it.
Indeed. So our first news story comes to us from trekmovie.com, and we are getting some more fallout from Picard Season 2, and we are learning that several cast members will not be returning, including, I can never pronounce her last name, Issa Briones, Soji. She ain't coming back.
Briones. Issa
Yeah,
Briones.
she ain't coming back.
So spoiler alert, we're going to get right into it here. A lot of things happened in the last episode of Picard season finale. If you haven't watched that yet, you haven't watched Strange New Worlds, just stop right here. Go watch both of them. Watch Strange New Worlds like 3 times, then come back and listen to us. Okay.
Yeah. Also, Legolas, Evan Evgoria is not coming back.
Nope.
Neither is Cristobal.
Nope.
Santiago.
Nope.
Yeah. Rios. They killed him dead.
Neither is Agnes.
Will Wheaton will not be coming back.
Nope.
The theory right now is that both Raffi and Seven are coming back, but that's not definitive yet. They haven't confirmed it.
Right.
And for sure, Peace 2 has got to be coming back. So.
Peace 2? What?
Peace 2.
Oh, Peace 2.
Patrick Stewart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Peace 2.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
That makes JL seem so much better, doesn't it?
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
It totally does.
Well, the whole...
So,
was that a plan where they were like, listen, people really don't like this JL thing. What if we come up with something even shittier?
No. I guarantee you that wasn't the plan, because she used JL in this episode, in the season finale. She said JL, and I was like, there it was. Yeah, she did. One time.
Yeah, I heard it.
But I heard it. It was when they were in the chateau.
Yeah.
So
I seen it like the Bigfoot. I seen it.
Yeah, it was there. It's real. It's real. The
That's right.
chupacabra exists.
The JL exists, unfortunately.
It's real. Sorry.
It is not an
All right.
episode without a Dan Cisco.
Ladies
real.
and gentlemen, joining us today, Avery Brooks, live via satellite. It's real.
So our next news story comes to us from Denna Geeks, and there is the headline is "Strange New Worlds: Will we see the Gorn?" And they're speculating because at some point they say that in some of the literature that Liana Noonien Singh's traumatic backstory may have to deal with the Gorn, so perhaps we will see them. But the whole reason I wanted to bring this up really is there is a great quote from Akiva Goldsman, and much like being unshackled from canon, you're going to love this quote. Here's the quote. "We are really big on canon, but at a certain point, we will interfere with it in order to tell a good story."
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Mm.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. Hell yeah. So that's where we're at with Akiva. Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
All right.
And then our last news story comes to us from Screen Rant, and we're getting some word about an actor we almost got in the Kelvin timeline instead of Zachary Quinto as Spock. We nearly got Adrian Brody as Spock.
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody.
Who's that?
He was in the movie Predators.
No, not the thin Italian guy. The thin, tall Italian guy with the curly hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been fucking
Oh wait,
horrible.
he's got a. Doesn't he have like a crooked nose?
He was in King Kong.
He does have a little bit of a crooked nose. Nice looking guy. I mean, good actor. Nothing against him personally. That is not
Academy
Spock.
Award winner.
Exactly. Yeah. No. I love the guy, but that is not Spock. Holy shit, that would have ruined it.
Well, the thought
he wouldn't
was
have done it anyway.
At the time,
I don't know.
You don't think so?
Maybe I could see it.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to put him and Ethan Peck.
Well, at the time,
I just like Ethan.
He was a
Peck,
bigger celebrity.
Yeah, he was.
At the time, he was a bigger celebrity.
Yep.
So that would have helped the box office.
That's true.
Right.
Well, we are talking about the movies.
I can see the thinking.
Yeah, we are talking about the cast of that original those three movies. That cast is phenomenal. That cast is phenomenal. So I wouldn't want to change a thing. But
Dan likes that casting.
I don't know if I like it, but I mean,
I guess it
would have been fine.
I guess it could have worked.
It would have worked.
Yeah,
like he's good.
Like, he's really good. I guess he could pull off anything. He's like a what's his name? Well, he's really like a Christian Bale. He can pull off anything.
Yeah.
He's like a what's the guy from Tom Hardy? Tom Hardy can pull off anything.
Right.
There are certain actors who can really just transform themselves and pull off whatever.
He was in The Village. Remember The Village, to M. Night
Shyamalan?
Yeah.
He played the developmentally disabled brother.
Yep.
Who I don't want to ruin it if nobody saw the movie, but you know there were some
Spoiler
issues
alert
with
from
him.
2009.
I don't want to. I don't want to spoil a 20-year-old movie. Well, you know, I'm good like that.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So ultimately, it just didn't work out, and they ended up getting Zachary Quinto, which I think was great. But it's interesting. It's definitely,
Yeah.
I can see the logic behind it.
Dan, is that kind of like saying, "Oh, by the way, in the entire movie, Bruce Willis is dead"?
You're talking about Die Hard, right? That's why it's called Die Hard. Because he was dead the whole movie.
I see dead people.
Exactly. Oh boy.
Lord.
All right, so that's all the news stories.
Yeah. Okay. So now we get into the feedback. We're going to just breeze right through this because we got so much to talk about in the main topic, but we do have a lot of feedback too. So let me make sure I play that. We got a ton of feedback. Here we go.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
So I got to pull up the coffee account and look. I don't know what's over there real quick. Daniel, do you? I've got to pull up the voicemails. I got a bunch of voicemails. Daniel, do you have anything while I'm pulling both of those up?
Yeah, let me take a look. Let's see. So we got a lot. I put up on all the social medias. You know, I put up the Picard season finale and Strange New Worlds, and I asked for people to call and give us feedback or to post questions. You know, a common comment was just how people were very upset about Picard Um,
I wonder why.
they were not happy with how that ended. We will definitely talk about that.
Yep.
You know what? Maybe this is a good moment to go into the Rotten Tomato scores. So let's do this for each one.
Let me
For
make a guess.
Discovery
Let me
Season
make a
4.
guess. One's way up and the others are all way down. Okay, go for it.
Okay, but with that in mind, what is higher, the critics or the audience on Discovery Season 4?
The writers are higher.
The critics?
No, I mean isn't high. The writers are just high.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean the score.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. What do you think is higher, the critic score or the audience score?
Oh, the critics score has
Critics.
got to be higher.
Okay.
Yeah, the critics probably love it.
You two, Dan, critics?
Yeah.
Okay. For Discovery Season 4, the one we just watched, it had a critic score of 93%.
Oh, good Lord.
The audience score was 20%.
They're dyslexic. They got the 9 and the 3 backwards. That's all.
Right.
And even then, they're still off.
It's still high.
Right.
It's still high.
For Picard Season 2, what do you think is higher, the critics or the audience?
Oh, definitely still the critics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The critics gave it a 87% for Season 2.
Eh.
The audience gave it 29%.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's get to Strange New Worlds. What do you think is higher, the critics or the audience?
I bet you the audience is higher on this one.
Think so?
I bet you. By a very small amount, if I'm guessing here. It just
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's still going to be the critics. I don't think the critics are going to rate it as high. And I don't want to say why.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
I know exactly what you mean.
So I will say this. They don't say how many reviews for either one.
Of course not.
So that tells me it's still a low number of reviews.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this will probably change in the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the critic score is 100%.
That's amazing.
And the audience score is 88%.
So a critic score of 100% means The Atlantic and Vogue both reviewed Strange New Worlds episode 1 so far, and that's it. The Vogue because it
They
looks
liked it.
great, and The Atlantic because they at least have a little bit of taste every once in a while.
Right. So that's all we got so far. I'm sure this is going to change. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
oh
that's
yeah,
where
oh
we're at.
sure. It's only one episode. I mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it changing.
Yeah.
That's about where I pegged the audience score though, being somewhere in the 80s for this because
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of this first episode. I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah.
I watched it by myself because everybody was still asleep, and I'm going to watch it with the wife and kid.
Nice.
Well, it's Mother's Day, so it's her choice. Happy Mother's Day, everybody,
Well.
by the way.
Yes, happy
Um,
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And happy Mother's Day to Samuel L. Jackson because he's the baddest mother I've ever met.
You talking about Shaft?
Yeah.
Talking about Shaft.
That's actually
I can dig
a
it.
good one. We ought to have a happy Motherfuckers Day. And it's all about Samuel L. Jackson.
That would be amazing.
And it should always be the day after Mother's Day. on a Monday, because it's a Monday. How could it not
Yeah.
be a
Probably be
motherfucker?
exactly 9 months before Mother's Day.
Ouch, yes. That's brilliant.
Probably.
That is brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man. Coming up
Indeed.
with the oh, that's awesome. I didn't even think about that. You said it, I'm like, what's that mean? Oh,
Oh,
I'm a little slow.
you are sick.
I'm almost
coming
there,
down with
man.
the
I'm
illness.
almost there.
Yeah.
So thank God I have to get in the
Yeah.
car and drive to Chicago again.
Oh man.
we're all a little sick.
Sick in the head. I won't do voices anymore. I'll just raise my voice when I'm going to do a voice. How about that?
There you
There
go.
you go.
All right.
We also do have some other feedback
Yep.
from Sean, who says Strange New Worlds episode 1 felt like old Star Trek to me.
Oh, yeah.
He said that Picard season 2 he hated, but overall he stuck it out due to P Stew and Picard, although he did actually like season 1. Nobody wrote P Stew. I'm just replacing it.
Yeah.
Mike
Very good.
Medina actually, yeah. Mike Medina likes Strange New Worlds overall.
Yep.
He says Pike is more like Picard than Kirk, and the crew is pretty good together, kind of like the Orville. And he also thinks that they changed Spock's hair and it looks better. So fashion stylings from Mike Medina.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Everyone else seemed to it's pretty much across the board. Everyone loved Strange New Worlds, and Picard was there.
All right, so we got some voicemail. There's nothing new in there's nothing new in the coffee account. So don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen. We have the coffee account over there. That's all that money. We got to change like the upper limit. We're over the 3,000 mark.
Oh yeah, I'll change it.
So I mean, I wish there was a way for us not to like put a limit on it or whatever, and just say how much we've collected or something. But over the last 3 years or 2 years since we've been running it, but all that money, of course, is going to go to the next convention. We used it at the last convention, whatever we had, and we're going to try to boost that up some more with ads, like Daniel did there, moving forward as well. So. The next convention, of course, is going to be next May, a year from now in Seattle. Is that correct? That's the next one that we are planning to attend somehow, some way?
I didn't know if we were.
Well, I guess we'll still talk about it. Sorry. Well, yeah,
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about the next convention we're going to attend. Anyway,
yeah.
But that's what that's going for, is his convention money, to do cool things like we did this last time around, bigger, better every year.
Daniel's talking like it. It's a big deal. It's a big plan for him to get an Uber and head over to that.
It's a 5-hour drive. I'll have to drive over.
Oh,
yeah, but it's nothing like the flight you had to take last month. Your trip last month.
Oh, good Lord! Yeah.
It'll be a piece of cake.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some voicemails to play. I'm gonna get into those. We got 3 of them. I think 2 of them are actually from the same guy, because he got cut off. And if you call these, you can call these anytime. Like this first one, he called me at 12:10 in the middle of the night, and I didn't know until the next day. So that's okay. You can call anytime you want to. It'll go straight to voicemail. It's fine. You're not interrupting me at all. Here we go. Watch it now play.
Hey guys, love the show. I gotta say, with Star Trek Picard, if you just told me last season that not only that it would get like way worse, but like that they would travel back in time to like our time to deal with like the border crisis, I'd have been like, you're full of shit. You're a big like I'm like flabbergasted. And they don't even do anything about the border crisis. They show up and they just say it's bad and they fucking leave. Like this new show is so pathetic. It's ridiculous that they had to put a teaser out to like to say, like halfway through season 2 to say we've got the whole cast coming next season. Please, like it's so pathetic and gross, and like I wouldn't even care. Like if the continuity didn't line up, I wouldn't care if the show were like any good. But it's like it's so depressing and pathetic. And I wish they would just let Star Trek die.
There's his first part, so we can imagine this gets better.
Oh,
Hold
he keeps going.
Oh yeah, there's his first part. Here's his second.
So he's watching.
Here's his second part.
Hey guys, sorry, it's Mike again. I just wanted to clarify. I'm not one of these like big anti-SJW get your politics out of my Star Trek people. Like I'm fine with like politics and social commentary in Star Trek. I just want Star Trek to be good. I want I don't know. You look at like a couple different sides of the issue. You don't even have to do that. Just use metaphor or like be subtle. Like remember that episode of the original series where Kirk and Spock come and like come back and deal with the civil rights movement? No, like be like Jesus Christ, like it doesn't even take place in the future. Like can't I just? I mean, it's 2 years in the future, but give me is that too much to ask from my Star Trek? And I love Star Trek 4, but this shit is out of hand, man. It's out of hand. Sorry.
Can he show me on the doll where Star Trek hurt him?
I just have something I have to add real quick.
Yeah.
The views expressed during the feedback portion of Trekcast are not necessarily the views of Trekcast or its hosts.
Boy, he's pretty
No
close.
kidding.
Wanted to put that out there.
He's pretty close. He's
Chad's
pretty
like,
close
he's-
to my
he's-
views. He's pretty
Yeah.
close to my views.
You know, I get what he's saying. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But man, somebody needs some Earl Grey tea hot.
No, he's
Yeah.
hey. It's a free country.
Yeah.
We'll let anybody come on and express their views, whether we totally agree with them or not. I'm not going to censor anybody's. If they want to come on and they want to express how they feel about it, something that has impacted them enough to where they want to actually call our phone number 816-287-0448 and leave us a voicemail saying anything they want, we should play it. If they go through the steps of leaving us a voicemail, we should play it. Whether or not we like it or not, whether or not we agree with it or not, whether or not that upset one of you listening right now or not, that's irrespective. We all have our own opinions. We all have our own feelings. We should be able to come together and express those and talk about them like big boys and girls, put our pants on and be able to handle it. And you can disagree with it and not like it, and that's okay. And you can not like the what they do in the episodes or the writing, but we can still come together and talk about it and discuss it. And that right there is what makes Trek great, our ability to be able to talk about it with one another. And relate to it with one another, whether we like it or not. So that's my little soapbox. I'll stop. We got another voicemail to get to. You guys agree?
I mean, as long as it's Trek related. There's got to be limits on other stuff.
Well, of course. Someone calls in and gives me a voicemail that's not related to anything we've been discussing.
Right.
It's not related to Trek, and then goes on a tangent about,
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
slamming somebody in politics. We're not going to play that.
Yeah.
That's not what
All
we're
right,
here
let's,
for. Last one.
Let's get to the next one.
Last one.
Hello, everyone. This is Scott Strongbeard Bouters. As requested by Dan, this is my Star Trek Strange New Worlds Pack-led review. Number one missing. Pike helped, but he is scared because he saw Shatner Trek. Spock helped, but low on costume money. Enterprise find number one. She is in New Guys jail. New Guys make big bomb. Want to blow each other up. Pike has biggest stick. Says bomb bad. New Guys play nice. Creepy mustache joins crew. The end.
That was fantastic.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah, I talked with Scott, and I don't know how about you guys. I don't know how you guys feel, but he's willing to make this a regular segment.
Oh, go for it.
Nice.
Nah,
I dig
you know,
it.
if that's the case, we can, if it's going to be a regular thing going forward, we can move it out of feedback and
Put it in
do
the
it
review.
right before the put it in the review. So
As our
I don't know.
recaps.
Yeah.
as a recap, let Scott do the pack-led recap.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm down with it.
I am down with that. Go for it.
That's pretty great. Yeah.
It helped make the podcast go.
Go fast.
Well, it's definitely
Go fast.
bringing you up from the last from Mike's voicemails. That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
Mike, we love you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for doing that.
And Strongbeard, obviously, that's an awesome. Keep going. Okay. So, is that it for our feedback? Do we want Chaz,
Yeah,
Biz,
that's
Hey,
it
it's
for
Cujo,
feedback.
Lumberjack, Daryl to chime in real fast before we move into
Yeah.
the topic?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what they're here for in the live studio audience. I'm going to unmute each one of their mics right now. You are muted automatically. So you're unmuted from my end. If you want to talk, unmute on your end, and then tell us what you guys thought of the season finale and, of course, the premiere of Strange New Worlds. Chaz, Biz, you get to go first.
Hi.
Hello.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. You said any caller, so.
yeah, that's
exactly.
right. Yeah, hey, any voicemail, yeah, leave one of those. That'd be funny. I'd play that.
Yeah. All I gotta say is, if I ever see Will Wheaton creeping up on me like that, I'm gonna run. Because that was probably one of the creepiest scenes I've ever seen in Star Trek.
Oh, really? You thought so?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that smile on his face, like you're standing there, a girl by herself, and you see this guy creeping up on her. That's kind of scary.
So
Okay.
somebody made a meme out of that scene, and it's like the first part is him with that smile, and it says, "Hey, I know you just met me," and then the next picture is him with the really creepy smile. It says, "Get in the van."
Yeah, he takes her and he's like, "We're gonna go fly around the world and go through time and space." So
Yeah.
Yeah. that part
Interesting.
could have been edited
Yeah.
out.
I didn't come off.
It's
I don't know.
like-
Maybe it was just me trying to watch it late at night. It didn't come off as creepy for me, but yeah.
Well,
interesting.
I just started laughing when I saw him. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, oh no, are they gonna really do this? And yeah, they did that scene, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
It was definitely.
I was like, I was
interesting.
happy to see Wesley back, but the way they did it is just like, ugh,
It wasn't.
kind of cringy.
It wasn't Wesley.
Yeah, it
That
wasn't.
wasn't Wesley. I'm sorry. That was 100% Will Wheaton. That was
Yeah.
not Wesley Crusher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to articulate that, but I don't know if he's just not a very good actor, or he couldn't find the old character and slip back
Yeah,
in.
It was really weird because the way he talked was like, "Are we watching After Trek right now?"
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was just being himself.
exactly.
Yeah, he was
Exactly.
just being himself.
He was
Yeah.
geeking out the way he does when he hosts that show, and it kind of took me out of the story completely.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
took me. It
Yeah.
was so jarring. It took me out of the story completely. I did not for a second think I was looking at Wesley Crusher, and part of it is, Wesley Crusher never had a beard,
Right.
yeah,
so I don't know if Will Wheaton just didn't want to shave his beard or what, but it's like, hey man, this is your first television part in like decades. Shave
Yeah.
the beard.
Mhm.
And look
Yeah.
like the character is supposed to look, because as you are right now, you don't look like the character, you look like yourself. Or even, change the style of your beard, take it down on the sides so it's it's like the goatee with I don't know, just give him a Tony Stark, whatever, give him something.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it
Like,
just
do
it needs to
something,
look
make
different.
it look like he's from the future or something.
He did look
Man,
like he
some
just
guy-
walked onto set after walking off of After Trek, and just kept
Well,
talking.
he looked like he rolled out of his Subaru and walked onto set.
Yeah.
It's like that wasn't even a costume from the costume department. That's just
No.
what he wore that morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like where they filmed it and everything wasn't like some special area or anything. It looked like a little park, and
It was probably
standing
two
there.
blocks from his house. He walked there that morning to
Yeah.
shoot that scene.
Yeah. They did talk about it, of course, on the Will Wheaton show, and he
They
was
did.
just
He's gotta pat
he was
himself on
so
the back.
excited to talk about it.
Oh, I bet he was excited to talk about it.
And see, that's the thing is like on The Big Bang Theory, he played himself. He didn't play a character. He just played himself on
Right.
The Big
Right.
Bang Theory.
Right.
So really, he hasn't acted in years, and it really showed. On
Yeah.
that episode, because it was just like, all right, whatever. And it was like,
It's almost
Oh,
it's almost like they should have put him. He should have been wearing some sort of 25th century something or other.
mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
And then, as he starts talking to her, she's looking around like, is anybody seeing this weirdo in the spacesuit? And just to have him say something like, "Don't worry, they can't see us."
Yeah,
Just
should have had
something
the
like that.
traveler's outfit on from the 80s.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
something crazy looking, and then be like,
Yep.
"What is this?" And then she's like shocked, and then just for her to say, "All right, I'm going to go with you," that doesn't make any sense. Like if somebody
No.
said that to me, and then I'm in California, I'm probably going to run.
If I'm in California, I'm running from anybody.
You could have done a bit where like he walks up to her in the normal park, and then like the background shifts to some sort of like astral plane or
Yeah, like
there's
ultra
yeah,
dimension something. Yeah,
yeah,
Like
like
a
we're
portal
out
or
of time right now.
yeah. If he can go through time, it should have shown something futuristic behind him.
Or like you see in other movies where everything freezes and they're just in the moment.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, like on
Yeah.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Or
Something
like on
that.
Insurrection when
Everybody's
everything
like
slowed
around,
down with
time
yeah.
freezes,
Yeah.
bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing about
And
that
that
scene
then that would show like he's real, that he can move in and out of time.
Yeah.
right. Well,
And,
I mean, to that
well,
point, the only thing about that scene that really threw me off was when they transported out with a regular transporter beam. That was the only thing I was kind of like, huh, what? That's not how he moves around, but okay.
you have like effects for that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this whole I'm tired of the story arc. Because if it doesn't pay
What story
off,
arc?
like the whole season story arcs, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
burn, the whatever control, like every season
big
has
mystery?
to have the big mystery, like what's gonna happen at the end. And if it doesn't pay off at the end, then those 10 episodes you kind of don't go back to them.
I read a review this morning from Engadget, and they were reviewing Picard season 2, and they said, you know, had this been TNG, this would have been a 2-parter episode, and that would have been the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the whole season? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would have got through it and been cool and be like, oh, awesome.
Yep.
But when you drag it out 10 episodes and then you have Guinan's character completely changed and then the Borg is now the Borg's happy Borg.
And they're part of the Federation.
And they're part of the Federation.
Yeah, and they're part of the Federation. It's like,
As
okay,
guardians at the
that
gate.
makes-
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
and you know what? And they kind of left that vague too. Like, is this the
I like that we're
Borg?
getting into the review already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to?
No.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Well,
Yeah.
No,
but,
it's
I
okay.
don't know. There's some
It's
scenes
okay.
like it just didn't make sense. It was sloppy. The end.
Yeah.
Understood.
Because like you had all these storylines you had to finish up on this last episode, and then you find out Rios does this, blah blah blah. His kid cleans up the oceans and the earth, and you're like, okay, whatever.
His adopted
and
kid.
he dies with
Yeah.
a star in his mouth.
Which I'm okay with. How else would Crystal Ball die
Yeah,
without a cigar in his mouth? I mean, I'm
it's
okay
just
with
like-
that part.
It was like,
Yeah.
can he just lived on Earth and been happy instead of be like, he was the greatest. He did this. His kid cleaned up the oceans and
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, things are meant to happen the way that things are
I know
supposed to meant to
things
happen.
I guess it changed the timeline, and that's the thing is like Guinan was getting sick, and it's the butterflies. And what's the time cops they have in Star Trek that stops them? What are they called?
The temporal directorate or whatever.
Affairs?
Yeah. Like, well, they'll go back in time and be like, "Hey, you messed up the timeline." I'm surprised. Maybe next season they ought to address that. Like, "Hey, you messed
that
up
won't
the
happen.
board.
No.
You messed up this. You can't do this."
Didn't I tell you that they would drop the FBI agent? We'd never see him again. It wouldn't matter. His
Yep.
whole thing would be
yes.
stupid.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It was dumb.
His whole storyline was completely.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we got
We had
two
our
others.
theory about 2 Qs and
Yeah. Well, yeah, and now we got
Okay,
multiple
yeah, I was
versions of
gonna
the
say
Borg
that-
and everything else. Let's see what Lumberjack Daryl has to
Strange New
say.
Worlds was freaking awesome, so I'm
Okay.
gonna say that. I like that.
Yeah, cool,
So,
Yeah.
there
cool,
we go.
awesome, man.
Loved it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
yeah, thank you.
Daryl, what do you got to say?
Morning.
Morning.
Well, like say, yeah. Well, I wasn't disappointed with Picard. I enjoyed it for the most part. It's just like the middle episodes, kind of They could have did a lot more with the season finale, like actually showing Renee Picard's ship going to Jupiter or wherever she was headed to find whatever it was to save the oceans and stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah.
they do a lot of tell, don't show.
Yeah, that was kind of disappointing in that. While a lot of Picard's like head stuff, they could have easily done that in one episode instead of just dragging it out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's still got
I love that. Picard's head stuff. I love that.
Mysteries of the mind, baby.
yeah.
and I think like with the Borg history game, I think that's its own separate thing. Like you got main Borg, and these are like a divergent Borg.
Mhm.
Yeah, otherwise everything's changed
They
about
have
the
to
Borg,
be.
which changed everything else in the timeline. which means nothing that's happened with
Yeah.
any incident of the Borg has ever happened at this point. So it has to be a separate group, which is why
Yeah.
they have a
It is.
vagina-looking
It
ship
is.
instead of a cube or a sphere. Because it's ran by Agnes.
Yeah.
So,
And too bad it couldn't lead up to something like that galaxy event they were talking about. Well, they were making a transwarp conduit, though. I think that they sort of wrote that in the last minute.
oh, maybe that's what
Yeah.
the rest of the crew has to come back for to help fix. That's our next big
Probably, yeah.
baddie for the whole season next year, right? The finale.
No, I think next season will be completely different. It's just going to be Picard back in a chateau. All of a sudden, his friends show up and, hey, we're off on another adventure.
Oh, Lord.
Back to the
Yeah.
saddle one last time.
Yep, that's what it's going to be.
Which is kind of what they're doing with Pike a little bit, because he was literally on horseback at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah,
so.
but if you look at the buzz that Strange New Worlds is getting,
Oh, yeah.
they're seeing that and they're like, oh, people
Oh.
actually want Star Trek.
This is what we were supposed to do? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was great.
Yeah.
It was like the 60 series, but with a 2009 paint job.
yep.
Yeah.
And it was great.
It was fantastic. Yeah. So,
Oh, I got no complaints about Strange New Worlds. It felt like Trek. It's been a long time.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was wonderful. Awesome. Okay, Cujo. You can unmute yourself, buddy.
I thought he
Daryl
said he didn't want it
Chazbiz.
to be.
I'm going to go ahead and...
He was saying in the chat that
oh, is he talking in the
he
chat?
just. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, see, I can't see. I didn't bring the ding.
It's
I
okay.
apologize. I didn't bring the iPod down here so I could watch the on-air chat.
He
Okay.
says hello.
Okay, hello. I'll switch over to there once I play the last little thing. We ready to go into the topic then? I'll play the clip
Yeah,
of the
let's go
topic.
to the
I'll switch over to on-air chat, and then I can watch what's going on over there. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go.
Talking about Star Trek in this week's topic. Talking about the Star Trek in this week's topic.
All right, of course we are talking about Star Trek. We're talking about everything with Picard season finale, followed by Strange New Worlds premiere. So let's just keep our conversation going about Picard and the ending here and what they did in that episode. Obviously, they went back to the future. We found out that a couple of the predictions that we had for the season finale were correct, which was that Agnes was the Borg Queen. So that was confirmed. Crystal Ball did stay in the past with the lovely new doctor's wife and adopted son. We kind of figured that was going to happen, and it did. I don't know. I forget where I was on that issue. I thought maybe he'd go back, but I don't know. I forget what I predicted on that end of it. But it was a little bit of a surprise at the very last second. He just, nope, I'm not going. So
We thought that he was going to bring her to the future.
yeah. I knew there was something a little off with that.
Yeah.
So, and then of course with Q dying. So I think that's about the only thing with this whole season and this finale that they kind of did right. What is Q's motivation for constantly getting on Picard over all this time, right? I'm okay with the way they wrapped it up. I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with the thought that even the very beginning, the first time we saw Q, he already knew at some point down the line he was going to die. And maybe it took that long, right? Because then it kind of makes me change my perception on all the crazy shit that he did, including him in the Delta Quadrant with Janeway, right? Trying to make a baby. All those things, right? Because he's thinking about his future of not having a future, whereas he's never had to do that before, which is why he's a little bit of a crazy Q compared to the rest. It kind of makes a little bit of sense if you think about it that way. Maybe you have to do
they have
mental
they have
gymnastics.
shown Q's can die, right? Because that one guy wanted to kill himself.
Correct.
And then they have, and then you could argue, yes, Q used to say that he was immortal and a god and all this stuff. And you could just say, well, that's just him blustering. You know, that's not him being accurate.
Yeah. So,
because it fits with the character. So, it's great that we can make mental gymnastics to make this fit. But
it's not that much of a mental gymnastics with Q.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Everything else is a huge mental gymnastics.
Yeah.
Feels like it. Hold on a second.
I feel like Dan's going to be not with this.
Oh, he's so not with it. He just ended his video.
That's right. He left us like Q.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. No, I
Does that make sense about the Q, what I said, or no?
yeah, it does. I'm trying to think how to put this. So I read an article where they did an interview with Patrick Stewart, and he was talking about the big change in Picard, right? That now we know the reason he's been so standoffish is because of his mom, right? And he flat out said that, he grew up in a very violent home, and it took lots of therapy for him to not be so rigid. So to me, it's definitely showing Picard and Patrick Stewart are essentially the same at this point, right? That they, oh, Dan's resetting right now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He'll be
Flip
back in a
it.
minute. Yeah. Okay. So because of that, I can buy more into what they were trying to do this season because it's really just an allegory for Patrick Stewart. And with that, I can see what they were doing with Q because really John Delancey is probably his friend, right? So it was just two old friends saying goodbye.
Yeah, yeah.
So that fits. I get all that.
I do.
Yeah.
And it's not that much of a stretch. Everything else, though, a little bit of a whatever. Well, like we said,
I think
they'd wrap it up awfully fast, and they did. So
they've never straight out said it, but I think they needed to say something like, hey, Captain Picard, you're getting softer in your old age, or you're getting more sentimental. Something along those lines would help bridge that gap. Because, like, if you go back to the even the movies, when Riker's leaving and he's like, I'm going to go, run the Titan now. What does Picard do? Shakes his hand, goes and sits at his desk, right? It wasn't a big emotional thing, like,
no.
So you needed something to bridge the difference.
Right. Dan's back.
Dan's back, I think. Oh, it looks frozen.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so then the other big thing, of course, we talked about this for a few minutes already, the Will Wheaton thing.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do any of that. They didn't have to have that whole entire scene. There's no point in it other than just trying to, say your goodbyes to Soji or Iza, whatever her name is, that's place all the variations of Soji. And this one, Cora or Corey, whatever.
I don't even. Dora the Explorer. I don't know.
She could play Dora the Explorer.
She could.
Yeah, she got the right hair. Anyway,
Yeah, so
I don't think they
tell you
needed that
about the Will
whole
Wheaton
scene.
show.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the Will Wheaton show and talking about his cameo in Picard.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah. So of course there was a lot of gushing. Of course there was a lot of like, we're so excited Will is here.
Yeah.
According to that show, and I would say take this with a massive grain of salt, because Will is in house, right? He's just
Sure.
he's there hosting this show and he's around.
Sure.
According to them, all the different shows had pitches to incorporate him in the show. That Discovery had their pitch, Strange New Worlds has their pitch, and the cartoon shows, Lower Decks, Prodigy, Will was the belle of the ball. But ultimately, the producers decided, the head producers, Kurtzman and Akiva Goldsman, like the main guys, decided that Wesley best fit with Picard, which I get that logic.
Sure.
How they did it could have been handled a little bit better. Not necessarily, like we talked about. But I get why they went there. So, but they were saying on the show, Wesley was the belle of the ball, and they all wanted him.
So he came out too and said that he's not coming back for season 3. He's not going to be in season 3. Now,
right? He said that.
Can we trust that or believe that?
I mean, Andrew Garfield wasn't supposed to be in Spider-Man.
Well, exactly. But I mean from the standpoint of what Will's told us before, because he's told us before he wasn't in. No one contacted him. No one invited him. He knows nothing about it. Yada yada yada. Here he is in the finale, right? So, I'm not sure if I can necessarily believe him, but I hope he's being truthful and accurate.
I mean, if this is going to be, yeah,
not like
if
that.
this is going to be the big send off, right? Because that's what everyone is basically saying that this is going to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I would argue you do need a scene with him saying goodbye to Beverly, like for good.
Well, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so if you introduce his character like this, what does that say about his relationship with his mom?
Right.
If you've got nothing there, right? So that's kind of
Right.
And he
That's
has a
why
very
I'm
good
saying you
relationship
do need
with
to
his
bring
mom.
him back to at least say goodbye to mom.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then the fact that he didn't say anything to Picard during that whole time.
Right.
With everything going on, he's there and he's around, and he could be of assistance because he's a Time Lord or whatever the hell they call him. He could be of assistance.
I feel
and he
like
wasn't.
too you could have done a little bit more with that cameo in that, like, when I forget what the Watcher's name was, but whatever name they gave her. But you could have said something like,
yeah, not Laris. Not Laris.
Not Laris, yeah. Yeah, if not Laris had said something like, oh man, my boss might come in and change things around or something along those lines. Because he did say it's him and, the Watcher and all them dispatch, or the Traveler dispatch the Watchers. So you could make an argument that he was the boss and like, well, this all ended correctly the way it was supposed to, or wasn't exactly how we intended, but the main pieces fell right,
Does that set up does that whole scene right there? I mean, that whole scene to me feels very inconsequential and very slapped in at the last second, and not really. I mean, it was okay. I didn't really have the problems that you guys had with it, but other than the fact that it was just kind of thrown in there. But now that you think about the implications of it, wouldn't that mean then that there's an entire, like, what is that called in Loki, where they have the entire group of
the
people?
Time Variance Authority?
Yeah, now that we have a time
Yeah.
variance authority that sits outside of space-time and everything else, just like in Loki, in Star Trek, do we have that now?
Now, here's the thing. Not everything has to be connected to something that came before. You don't have to make these connections. You don't have to make these forced connections. But if you do want to make connections, make ones that make sense. The Traveler never had anything to do with protecting the timeline.
Exactly.
That's not what it was. But the guy who they hired to play an FBI agent previously played a character that specifically was his job.
Right.
So, I do it. There could have been 1,000 ways to work Wesley into this. I feel like it was forced. I feel like it didn't make any sense. I feel like it didn't add anything to the story except to get Issa Briones. Is that her name? Issa Briones?
Issa Briones.
Yeah, Briones. Basically that whole thing was, we need an exit strategy for her because we really don't know what to do with her, because they had nothing for her to do as her original character was Soji. Is that her name?
Yeah, Soji.
Yeah,
they had nothing for Soji to do. So they're like, well, you know what? We'll create a new character for her. And there was really nothing for her to do because, none of it had anything to do with anything. The whole Sung side story just made no sense. It was so forced. And then at the end, he's going to take an old-fashioned folder out of his thing, and it says Khan on it. Ah! What does that have to do with anything? Khan left Earth, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
At that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they drop these little
But it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter.
It
doesn't
mean
matter.
anything.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
So she posted on Instagram, because she was leaving and she was, saying goodbye.
Yep.
But she did post something that I thought was funny, is that she said, I went from the pandemic where I was basically living in pajamas, and then season 2, my character was basically in pajamas the entire season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That was pretty funny.
But see, Dan, they throw little things like that in for people who know enough about Trek history that they enjoy it, they've watched it, they've been around for all the different series, but they're not so far into it with canon or head canon like we are, to where they see that and they make that connection. Oh, I remember Khan, yeah, but don't have any clue about the time frame or anything else. It's like a little gotcha moment for those that are watching the show that don't have the instant recall that we have, because we talk about it all the time.
It's like putting raisins in your potato salad. It's almost right.
What?
Exactly.
What?
It's almost right, and then they put something weird in there, and then it just makes you go, "What the hell is this?"
And most people probably don't catch it. I'd say probably half the audience watching probably doesn't really
They're
catch that
little.
that's
They're
wrong.
raisins. They're
But-
tiny.
Yeah.
You
So,
might eat around them.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I thought when you pulled out the
All right,
folder and it said Con, and I was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's cute, guys. You tried. You get a gold star by your name.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's talk about the show we actually liked. Stranger
Well,
Worlds.
I just want to cover a few more things.
Yeah.
From Picard. I lost you guys for a minute there. I had to reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
my
fine.
system.
Go for it.
Headset. I'm working on the phone. I don't know. I had such high hopes for Picard. I've said it before that he is probably my favorite Star Trek character of all time. I would follow him off a cliff. I don't know what they were thinking with this season. There were just so many missteps. There were so many, all the talk of butterflies, and they just leave a guy in the past.
Yeah.
To live his life and basically actively work to corrupt the timeline.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. He was there. He stayed behind so that he could actively work to corrupt the timeline. It just didn't make any sense.
Because in Rios' logic, what if it was supposed to be this way? That's not what you're supposed to do, Rios. That's not how that works. You don't know. So therefore, actually, you know what? You would know. It's called history, and you've got to, you've got a database in front of you that should tell you. Like, what the hell?
I think it would have worked better. I think it would have worked better at the end if she and the kid came to the future.
Yeah.
And you could have done something like, they're in that scene where they're ready to leave, and I don't want to go, I want to stay, and she says, you don't belong here, and yada yada yada, and he says, come with me, and she says, no, my life is here, and then Q lets them know that her life isn't here.
Yeah.
She's gonna die.
Yep.
Gonna die next time.
You're cutting out real bad, Dan.
Yeah.
You're like crackling oats.
Yeah, that's a good send off that Dan's got right there. Like that would have been good, because she could have played the part of my life is here. I help all these people. I can't just abandon them.
Right.
Which is true. That's what we saw her do.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That would have fit. They did throw in the this is antithesis of the entire show, though, in their writing or miswriting or not caring about certain things at certain times. When they do get back onto the bridge at the very end of this episode, somebody finally speaks up somewhere and says, "Where the hell's the captain?" And Picard's basically just like, "Shut up, he's not here. Let's keep going." Like they just stop.
Could have done.
Yeah.
You know what they could have done? That would have been awesome. So. And you laid the rabbit trail for this, right? He could have handed her the EMH portable emitter and said, "Look, I gotta go back to my timeline. You got to stay here to help people. Here's me in a way, and I'm gonna help you." And now the EMH could be another doctor at her clinic who's gonna help people, and it's him.
Oh, talk about completely corrupting the timeline. Yeah.
Well,
who cares?
If you're gonna do it, might as well. And then it's kind of like it's bittersweet that he's there but not there.
Right. Yeah, if you're gonna do it, go whole cheese, right? Whole cloth.
I mean, who doesn't love cheese?
Who doesn't love cheese? Butterflies, Cujo. Just put a picture of the butterflies on it, chat. Nice. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know that whole. Just take a step back for a minute. And you're thinking about your legacy, Patrick Stewart. Your legacy as an actor, your legacy as Jean-Luc Picard, your legacy in Star Trek. and you want us to take a step back and say, how do we end Picard's story? How do we wrap up Picard's story without him dying by getting shot in the back on a bridge, right? So if we were to step back and think for a moment and say, how would we end Picard's story? I think the first thing we would probably think of that would be a real good beginning of this story, beginning of the end of the story, would be the aromatic syndrome, would be how that ended in all good things, and try to wrap it from there, even more so than that last season did, because that last season kind of wrapped it up a little bit for Picard, but not really. And then, of course, we have the movies and everything that came after that. And then we have Data and B4 and all those things. There's a ton to have played with. I don't think I would have ever, in my wildest imagination, ever gone back to and said, why don't we make a quasi 10-episode horror film about Picard wrestling with the time his mom hung herself for 10 episodes? I don't think I would have ever in my wildest dreams came up with that. Because this follows a pattern. This follows a pattern with CBS, with Viacom, with Paramount Plus, all of them, and the writers and Kirksman himself. They want to take a character, they want to take that character and they want to build that character up. Then they want to take that character and totally rip it apart and ruin it, and ruin that character for all time. Or just not even base
like
the
Zack
character
Snyder.
off.
They love the deconstruction.
They love the deconstruction. And it's a lot of tell and not show. It's a lot of tell.
Right.
It's just
although a lot of that showing and not telling, they kind of got right in the Strange New Worlds pilot. They showed Pike struggling, and then he talked about it.
Yeah.
They're still doing a little bit of that, talking about it and not showing it.
They are, but they can't help themselves. But they're getting better.
But that is the way they went about it with Sing, not Sung, Sing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know why you have to make it that close, guys. Just why do you have to make it that close? I don't understand. Anyway, I like her character so far, and they did a lot of talking about her backstory, but they did it in a way that you could feel it.
Yeah.
And God, talk about some traumatic thoughts that they can bring up with her from being in a Gorn hatchery and being used as either a breeding body or stuff. Geez, that sounds horrible. I hope we see the Gorn.
And they talked about on Red Letter Media. They talked a lot about how Picard uses a lot of like poetic language, so it's hard to really understand what the hell they're talking about. Whereas Strange New World was a lot more direct, I noticed. There wasn't that
not only direct, it was fast paced. I mean, if they're going to talk about something, they talked about it in a split second and kept going. And then they even went in, and we had a lot of the techno. We had a little bit, not a lot. We had a little bit of techno babble with the the genetic modifications to make you look more like the aliens and all that. That was great. They set up actual real technical problems and then solved real technical problems all in the same one episode. Like, that's it. So that was fantastic. It was a true Trek episode.
Without reversing the polarity.
Without reversing the polarity. Yeah, they didn't have to unplug or plug anything back in. I didn't like the let's transport salve right into Spock's eye and have that work at the whatever. But that's okay. Yeah. Those are the little MacGuffins we have in Trek. That's fine. So let's finish with Picard before we get into Strange New Worlds, because I have a lot to talk about there, and Strange New Worlds was fantastic. So anything else with Picard that we need to say, not say? It was a dumpster fire of a total season in my I mean, it really was. I mean, just looking back on it, would I ever watch this series again? No.
Probably not.
It makes me want to watch
last minute field commission to captain. It's like, what are we talking about? What are we doing?
Yeah,
that made absolutely no sense. Rios is gone. I get it. Picard, you're the ranking officer. Take command of the ship. If you don't want to take command of the ship, you have a commander right there, an actual commander.
Yeah.
Right there. She's a terrible person, but she is a commissioned officer in Starfleet.
Yeah.
Have her take command. Or, I mean, who's Rios' first officer? Do we even know that?
No.
Where's that person?
No. That's probably the person
Where's
that
that
yelled
person?
out saying, "Where's the captain?"
Yeah, where's that person?
That's the only smart person on the
and-
bridge.
And if Picard can just hand out field commissions
Yeah.
like candy, why can't Janeway?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought Janeway once gave Seven a field commission.
No, they dressed her up in a Starfleet uniform to send her back.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
Yeah, and if anyone had more of a reason to do a field commission, it's Janeway, because there literally no one else is out there.
right,
Yeah.
it's a different scenario. So I would understand that. So oddly enough, I feel relieved that Picard season 2 is over, and that we know for a fact that there's only one more season. And after this first episode of Strange New Worlds, I'm kind of feeling relieved that there might only be one more season of Disco.
Potentially.
Why? I mean, if they're going to have another season of Disco. It's season 5. We all know that, right? And so, watching how much people love this, and then just still bitch on Disco, that might be its last season.
That yet? Is that in production yet, or what?
I don't know.
I think they're scripting it right now. I don't think it's in production.
I'm wondering how much effect Strange New Worlds will have on the process of producing Discovery, and Picard is probably already in the can. I think they were filming them back.
Oh yeah, it's done.
They've already shot it.
Yeah, it's done.
So
that could potentially still come out this year.
I'm interested to see where Picard is going to go in the third season. Even though I did not like this season very much, I'm still excited for season 3. I still want to see what they come up with. I just hope it's good. But I am super excited about Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. This is a good point, actually, by Chazbiz in the on-air chat. He says, this is a really good point. Think about this. He goes, I want to know why they had 2 Star Trek shows and Halo come out in one day. The Paramount needs to drop on different days. No shit. If you want to think about it from a standpoint of getting subscribers and people having eyeballs on your platform, you'd want to have it at different times during the week, not on the same damn night. So,
well, unless they saw what a negative reaction there was for Picard, and they said, you know what, we don't want to give people 7 days to say screw this and cancel the subscription. So you know what? Let's drop them the same day.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll go, wow, that wasn't very good, but this other one was really good. I think I'm going to stick around and see how this plays out.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
And they do the whole thing on Halo too, by the way, where there's an awful lot of feelings on Halo. For a show that's supposed to be about space marines shooting other people and just killing things, it's an awful lot of feels. So it's the same kind of issue over there. But I like Halo for whatever reason. I'm just curious where the hell they're going to go with it.
It's a show about a video game, and it's a video game I've never played. So
I played briefly, on and off. I played briefly, so I know enough to be dangerous and to know that Master Chief shouldn't take off his helmet, just like a Mandalorian.
I'm still waiting for the Duck Hunt series that they're going to do.
When the ducks are all together saying, they're killing our family, we have to stop them.
Yep. And the dog, I'm interested to see what backstory they're going to give the dog.
All right.
Who's going to voice the dog? Ron Perlman?
Oh, jeez.
Adrian Brody.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
They owe him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're done with talking about Picard. We don't have to think about that for a while now. Let's think about Strange New Worlds. In this episode, the Packlet review sets us up here for this, but this is the first episode. We get to see Pike, bearded Pike, on horseback, which is the best Pike. That beard was just majestic. It was so huge and fluffy. He really needed to be in Amish land. It was great. But I love his house in Montana. That's beautiful. Can I please go there? So with all that said, we start off with him just really not wanting to come back. We're really picking up where he left off with the trauma that happened in Disco, which makes me kind of want to go back and watch Disco, which is amazing. This episode is so good, I almost want to go back and watch Disco.
You know,
I feel like they needed to do some sort of like refresher on like a catch up that they could have released on YouTube for like 5 minutes to bring people up to speed on
they
it.
didn't need to put it in this episode, that's for sure. This episode is strong. It's not the
Right.
best episode I've ever seen of any of the new Trek, but boy, I'm having a hard time thinking of what other episode in new Trek so far would be better than this.
Right.
Nothing. Yeah, it's
But-
really good.
But
It's really
like
good.
catch up would have been good, like even for promotional use.
Yeah.
so
I
I
thought
don't
they
know
want to
if
make it
this
stand on
was
their own.
intentional.
Go ahead.
I don't know if this was intentional, but I got some Captain Kirk and the Nexus vibes when they showed him in Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that, you know what? I'm all done captaining. I want to sit in my cabin, make breakfast for my lady, and
Mhm.
just relax.
Yep.
And that shit is somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was
Yeah.
intentional, but I definitely felt that. When he was scrambling the eggs, I'm like, is that Captain Kirk's cabin? Is that this? Where's the big dog?
Yeah.
Is the big dog gonna run out?
Well, what's interesting about Pike and Kirk is, you forget this, but Kirk himself was in some way, shape, and form brought up by Pike, right? So Pike is the original Kirk. If you want to get it down to it, I mean, Kirk learned something from Pike over the years somehow, some way. I don't know how, but there was history there with the two of them before the original series, right?
I don't.
They set it up as there being some, and
I
they've
don't
always
know.
built on that.
The 2009, the 2009 movies, yeah. In original Trek, I didn't get the feeling that Kirk even knew Pike, right?
Eh,
He was Spock's old captain, not,
Yeah.
yeah. They've changed a little bit of that over the years,
Yeah.
and played with it enough to where maybe it's my headcanon.
Would you want to see 2009 Pike in there, like even as a different character,
Oh, sure.
just as a cameo? I would.
Oh,
I think that'd
sure.
be cool.
Sure.
Bruce Greenwood, bring him
Bruce
in.
Greenwood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah, why
fine.
not? He was good.
Yep.
I didn't mind him.
So we see him in the planet, on Earth anyway. He's basically checked out. He's like, I don't want to go back. Because he knows he's going to die, right? And he knows it's going to be
Right.
horrible, and he knows he's probably going to get people killed as well. And so now that he's doubting himself, how can he be a captain in that way? So it's very well done. I like how they're doing this, and he gets little flashbacks of him sitting in the chair, or the face he has burnt into a crisp sitting in the chair. But they don't tie in anything with what's her name on the planet. Gosh, dang it. What was her name? I'm drawing a total blank. My head's still.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Because that's who he ultimately could go and wind up and be with, right? So it's interesting that he's already got a girl on Earth. He's like, screw this, I'm not going back out into space. I got a girl on Earth. I'm going to forget about what's her name on the planet where I can just live in perfect health for the rest of forever. Mentally, I guess, not physically, but you feel like it's the same thing. God, why am I drawing a total blank on that? Talos 4, is that what it is? That's the planet?
Yeah.
Talos 4,
Yeah, with the-
and then what's someone in
With the
chat
big
maybe tell
brains?
me. Yeah, the big brains. What's that girl's name though?
Telosians,
Yeah,
I
the
don't remember
Telosian.
the name. It doesn't
Carrie,
matter.
Really cute.
Cynthia.
Really cute.
Pick a
Yeah.
name.
Anyway, doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind living eternity with her. All right, so then of course, he keeps getting a call, and so the guy comes down and says, "Dude, you're not answering your phone." I love how she referred to it as a phone.
Mhm.
I was like, why is that not a communicator? Like that's the one time I think maybe they made a mistake and left it in.
It's colloquial.
I think it was probably.
Colloquial, yeah.
I think it was probably a. I think it's just a figure of speech in the 23rd century.
Yeah.
That when hey, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Like not actually I don't know.
Well, maybe it's just something you still
I
say
didn't
on
have a problem
Earth when you're in space. It's a communicator because it's now you're in the flow of it.
Well, like my dad calls a Skype call a video phone call.
Yeah, everybody has. Yeah, exactly. So that's fine. I thought it was funny.
We still measure the power of an engine in
Horsepower, yeah.
It's an antiquated phrase, but everybody knows what it means.
We still call a set of tracks of music an album, even if it's digital and not on vinyl.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And
Are you Are you taping this podcast?
This show is recorded.
Taping this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
taped in front of a live studio audience.
Mhm.
That's funny. So of course they bring up, but it's Una. You've got to go get Una, and he's like, okay, I'll shave my beard for that.
Chad would absolutely go get. Una.
Oh, I would do a lot for Rebecca Romaine. So
No.
anyway, so yeah, he comes back, gets on the ship. He's going through the roster. There's Spock. We see Spock back on Vulcan. With T'Pring. He's married. He's getting married. Are they married? They're officially married. Is that what happened there? They said they're already married.
No, they're courting.
They're what?
Courting.
Courting each
They're
other.
courting. They're dating.
They're
It's the most
courting.
awkward date I've ever been on.
Yeah.
Somebody just said in the YouTube chat, every Enterprise captain needs to ride a horse.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for Janeway. She has to have a mug of coffee.
Well, she was Voyager, so it's okay.
Yeah. Enterprise captain. You're right. Just Enterprise.
Enterprise captain.
Has to ride a horse, of course.
Yeah.
Now I want to see John Harriman on a horse.
That would be awkward as hell.
Or Jellicoe.
Jellicoe wouldn't get on a horse. He'd shoot the horse and make glue.
This horse needs to be on a 4-shift rotation.
I don't want to talk about it. Just make it happen.
Just make it happen.
Exactly.
I don't need the details. I'm not a details guy. That's what you're for, okay? You make it
Right.
happen.
Tell that horse to put on a proper uniform.
Just like Spock. Why do I have shorts on? Where are my pants?
Yeah.
That was great. I love that.
That was a good bit.
I just want to go on record. I did not approve this.
Well, and then I think because we saw him at the panel and realized how funny he really is.
He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
He is. Ethan Peck, man, when he first came on as bearded Spock, and we made fun of hipster Spock and
Hipster
Disco and
Spock,
all
yeah,
that
with his
stuff.
vape pen.
I kind of like that look, though. I was okay with it.
Mhm.
Going off of him going nuts and crazy and all that. Like, there's a lot of the stuff they've done with Spock in Disco, and then with so far with Pike and everything else that I was kind of like, really, really, and even this scene of him in his home or whatever, looking at the oceans of sand, where they were going to basically make love, and he's got no shirt on. I don't know. He's really grown on me. Ethan Peck's version of Spock has really grown on me. I like the guy. He's huge, by the way. If you don't realize that when you're watching the show, that dude is not only very tall but very buff. That dude, you don't want to mess with Ethan Peck. He looks like he could probably either make you in stitches because you're laughing so damn hard, or actually just deck you and now you're in stitches. He's a big dude, so I like what they've done with Spock.
Dude.
So, at any rate, well, of course he has a shirt off so you can see him, but I love how Spock makes no mention. Did he make a mention of Pike's beard and disheveled hair and all that in the video call? He didn't. Yeah. But Spike's like, "Are you naked?"
Yes, Captain.
Yes, Captain. And then to bring in the background, getting upset
You did
like
call
a wife.
Captain. I just assumed.
Yeah.
She was good too. I mean,
She
she
was.
was bordering.
She was borderline being joking and jovial and cracking jokes.
They were borderline emotional.
They were
Is
borderline
the
emotional.
Vulcans, but they're borderline emotional.
Yeah.
Like, when Spock tells Pike that T'Pring will understand, and she's like, that should have been a query.
Yep.
That was a almost emotional way of saying, you should ask me.
Yep.
Ask me what I will feel. Don't tell him what I will feel. So that seems, borderline emotional. But
well, she borderline smiled multiple times in those conversations because she was being a little bit of a smartass. But and she's pure Vulcan, so I can kind of get away with a little bit with Spock being a little bit of a smartass because he's not pure Vulcan. But and coming off of everything he's gone through, he's not quite at the fully logical, gone too far, go back the other way, because he can change. His character can kind of, bounce a little bit. She's not. She's full Vulcan. So I thought that was a little different. But
we might find out that, she's into bad boys. Some women are into bad boys.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe that's what turns her on. Maybe she's like, he's so emotional. and it's bad on Hulk, and that's like that would be a bad boy. You know, he rides a motorcycle, he wears a leather jacket, he laughs at jokes.
Okay, here's my question. We've seen Spock's sister, Michael. Are we going to see his brother, Cyborg?
I think it would be funny if they just dropped something in somewhere, but didn't do a whole lot with it. I did find I know people have said they didn't like it and they found it jarring or whatever else, but I did actually like the scene in the elevator, whatever, the turbo lift, where he makes mention of his sister. And Pike makes mention of Discovery and everything that happened there, and how, and it's a secret and no one's supposed to talk about it, but we're going to tell you everything in the turbo lift anyway, or on the transporter pad.
They can mention it to each other because they both know. Yeah.
So, but then of course Singh is right there, and then now she knows. But it impacts their mission and what they're doing, and so there's some fallout there, right? I kind of like the bringing over the fallout of everything that happened in Disco and everything that Disco screwed up. There's fallout to that around the whole area. And Una's there trying to pick up those pieces without even telling Pike. No wonder there's a skeleton crew of her and 3 guys on a ship, and that's it. So, I don't know. This whole series, this whole episode anyway, made so much sense. Like,
even where the planet they had to go rescue because they had seen what Discovery and the Enterprise had done to save the universe, basically.
Right.
To fight Control. So, like, that's cool that they connected it that way.
Right. Exactly. They did a really good job of weaving that into this. But for just one episode, right? I mean, now we're going to get other stuff. So instead of it being this whole giant arc.
And it was just a neat idea about, it was something new. What if these people discovered warp, but instead of creating an engine like everyone before them, they created a bomb.
That was very good. Idea. That was very cool.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that was someone deserves like a gold star in the writing room by their name for that. That was fantastic.
Chazbiz just said that Will Wheaton should play Cyborg.
Oh, Lord. And they should have him in the exact same getup he had when he went and talked to Cora on Earth. Saying, "Hi, I'm a traveler. I go through space and time. Get in the van. And then Ethan Peck or Spock would just look at him and go, "You're not my brother."
Right.
Anyway. No, so then we get everybody kind of getting the crew rounded up. The way they did this with introducing Nurse Chapel and the doctor, and some of these people know each other, but some of them don't know each other, and you get this awkward moment with Pike looking around going, how does everybody know each other and I don't? Like, it was great.
But that's great. It gives us introductions to the characters.
It does.
Because he's been hiding in his cabin for 8 weeks. That's why he doesn't know anybody.
Right. Exactly. And
none of them are horses.
And apparently Una was probably keeping him isolated from all of that to try to help, So as his number one, she's not telling him anything to try to keep him isolated, to give him some headspace, right? So this makes a lot of sense.
If you watch the original series, and I know it was only one episode that Pike and number one were in.
Right.
But she's got the hots for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She totally does.
Yeah.
So I can imagine her being super protective of him and trying to shield him from the trauma that he's experiencing.
Well, she was on Disco even.
I'm wondering if they're gonna continue to explore that.
Oh, I think that they should in the way of never really talking about it, but making it kind of obvious by actions.
Oh, it's
going to
be moonlighting in space.
Oh God, slamming doors, yelling at each other as they walk out. No, I don't. I can't see Una doing that. See, that would be very that would take the character of Una and making her very different than what she really is. Kind of like singing
Rachel.
Kind of like exactly. Let's not have them singing in a turbo lift, Modern Major General or whatever that song is. Let's not do that. That would be very bad. That was a short trek, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't pick up on that,
that was a good short trek. Not as good as Let's Eat Tribbles, but
I don't know if I'd call it good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Una
Turbo
does have
Bros did.
Una does have good taste. Captain Pike is definitely Anson Mount is a man. Yes, we'll leave it at that.
A lot of guys in our Discord really like Anson Mount.
They do, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Anson Mount's
like
a
him
good
too.
guy.
Yeah.
I think he's great.
Yeah,
I think he's great. This is probably the most excited I've been about a new Star Trek series in a long time.
Yeah,
After watching the first episode.
yeah, it's
So-
great. You don't have to do
I would-
homework for next week's show. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to see Anson Mount and Chris Pine in a movie together. Not even necessarily Trek, but I feel like those two would work really well together.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, how about the switcheroo at the end when Lieutenant
With Kirk?
when he finally reports to the bridge and it's not James T. Kirk.
It's
Yeah.
Sam Kirk. Who the hell is Sam Kirk, and what's up with the mustache? You know what that reminded me of the minute
brother.
I saw him? Yeah, you know what it
That's-
reminded me of?
What?
What?
What's his name on Galaxy Quest who plays the Sam Rockwell's character?
Oh, yeah.
He had
Guy?
that little goofy smile on his face
Guy?
and everything, and it's like, oh my god, this guy's going to be comic relief the entire season, and we didn't even know it. It's going to be Sam
He's going to be
Kirk.
their Dan from the Orville.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Anybody else like riding a turbo lift? Because I really enjoy the music.
Do you like music? Yeah, Dan, I like music. Everybody likes music.
Why are the Klingons so angry?
Look around for something you can use to make a rudimentary lathe. Shut up, guy.
So yeah, that's Jim Kirk's brother.
Yeah, that's great. With a
They
mustache.
They trolled everyone, including William Shatner.
They did. That's just amazing.
Awesome.
That's.
But I'm kind of glad.
Yeah.
Kind of glad because I was not excited about young Lieutenant Kirk
No.
running around
No.
on this ship. I didn't think that was a good idea. So
No,
I'm
I don't
glad
think so either.
I'm
Yeah.
glad they did not go that way.
So
Yeah.
now what I want though is I want a Sam Kirk running around on this ship trying to hit on every woman and failing miserably.
Yeah, he's like
their Geordie.
He's their
Brother.
Geordie.
He's the Geordie of the Kirk family.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And every once in a while you get Captain's log. Sam Kirk screwed up the mess again. Something.
Dude, I like that in the beginning too. They did
Yes.
the whole old school open
Yep.
with Pike. Oh, it was great.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. So yeah, and even the resolution of the problem set up in this one episode has been resolved, but with the alien race anyway, now trying to figure out how to work together, whatever race that is, and become part of the Federation, start working on that. But
Mhm.
they still set up this issue that could still be kind of the underlying thing, or at least part of the story anyway, about all these planets around the affected area from where they sent Discovery into the future, for all that stuff, right? And so you've still got this ongoing, there's a lot of layers. They did an A story, a B story, a C story. There's a whole bunch of layers in this episode. There's a lot there, and I like that. I like the way they
You're
did
setting
that.
up a TV show.
What'd you say?
It's like you're setting up a TV show.
It is amazing. They actually figured out how to set up a TV show. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? So, no, it's great. It was great.
Yeah,
Let's
it
see
was
what
good.
else.
It was
what
really
else
good.
awesome happened? I did like Spock screaming because it was a lot of pain.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
couldn't take it anymore. And then he looks normal,
Yeah.
and he's like, "That's much better." That's it.
I wonder if that was written or that was Ethan Peck just being Ethan Peck because of the way he is.
I could see both.
I could see an argument for both.
Yeah, I could see both.
On the Will Wheaton show, they interviewed Anson Mount and Akiva Goldsman together, and they said that Akiva went to the set and basically said, "Hey, what parts of the ship do you guys want to put on TV? Like, what parts of the Enterprise have we not seen that you guys know about that would be interesting?" And apparently, Anson Mount gave quite a list. He was very excited
Oh yeah.
that he had gone to some of the old manuals that were released, and he highlighted some areas.
Cool.
He's literally highlighting them. He has a black and white photo of the
Probably.
and every time he visits a different part of the ship, he highlights it. And he's hoping by season 5, he's got the whole ship is colored yellow.
I could see him being very old school that way. Yes.
Yeah.
Like he's got an Epson black and white printer at home tied to a PC, and he prints out things, like maybe he even goes and prints out MapQuest directions to get to the next new location they're going to.
God, probably.
Because he literally is a mountain man. I'm not trying to make fun of him or say it's wrong
it's
or whatever.
true.
It's just true. He's a mountain man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like if you follow his Instagram, like he's building furniture, like he actually does it. Like it's
cool. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Did he have any kind of new thing on his podcast that's going to come out because he's got a podcast? What is it? The Well? I think it's called The Well.
The Well. Yeah, I haven't heard it in forever.
I haven't heard it in forever either. The last one I actually sat and listened to was the one where him and Ethan Peck were both on it, which was a great.
That's a good one.
It's a really good one.
Especially now looking back at it, that's a good one.
And you could tell those two actually like, they have chemistry there together in terms of like a friendship, right? So
yeah, they get along really well.
They get along really well, which is great.
Yeah.
So, any other big things from this first episode? They showed a little teaser at the end for all the things that are coming up this season, which was fantastic. And again, it's beautiful. They've never done anything wrong on the visuals of any of this new Trek, other than
every show looked gorgeous. Other
than the look of the Klingons and their ships, everything has been spot on with the looks. I like the look of the Andorians now. I even like the look of the Tellarites way back when, with the few times we've seen them. I'm okay with the different Romulan foreheads for the regions of the world that they live on.
That's fine.
I'm okay with all the genetics has a drift, right? And planets and environments can impact all that. So I'm okay with all those things. The look and the feel of everything they've put together for this show looks fantastic. I love these shots in the opening sequence with all the different lighting effects on the Enterprise. The Enterprise, they've made it look new. They've made it look different, but they've also made it look old. Like it doesn't look like a shiny, polished.
It's not the Apple Store that Disco is.
Correct, or it's not the Apple Store that the 2009 JJ Enterprises were either. Correct, which is great because they've really made it look like new but old. Like it fits. It just feels like it fits. To me. I love it. I love it. It's good stuff. Anything else, guys?
No, I think we got to leave it there.
I think so too. Yeah, we're running along.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's Mother's Day. Everybody, enjoy it. Go back and watch Strange New Worlds a couple of times. Maybe even watch some of those old Disco episodes that kind of tie into it, like the one with any of them that involve Pike. So that would be great. And then we'll see you next week. We'll talk about Season 2 that comes out on Thursday. We'll just have the one show. That'll be great. Call us, 816-287-0448. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show. We've already gone through all of that. Follow us on the Instagrams, the Twitters, the YouTubes, the Facebooks, all those places. It's either Trekcast or trekcasttng. Our email is trekcasttng@gmail.com. The website is trekcast.com. All that stuff is up. There's lots of ways for you to get involved, interact, get onto Discord. All those links to everything will be all over the place for you throughout the week. Make sure to be ready for us every Sunday morning at this exact same time when we do the recording. We'll be live on YouTube as well, so you can follow along and comment there. You can comment along in our on-air chat on the Discord as well, so you got two places to chat and watch. And then, of course, if you're in the Discord, you can get into the live show voice channel and give us your feedback during the feedback section live on the air. So there's tons of ways for you to get involved in the show. And that is that's about it, guys. All right, cool. Looking forward to it. We've actually got a great series here, a great season for Strange New Worlds. Looking forward to every single episode at this point. Please, God, Paramount, don't screw it up. So,
nice.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, another episode in the can. Check us out at trekcast.com. Also, if you would, please subscribe to us via iTunes. Leave those reviews, subscribe to us, we'll get some numbers, get up the list, get more listeners, do more shows, have more fun. But for now, we're all done. So live long and prosper, and we'll see you next week.